Hello everyone, it's that time of the year when we start baking and cooking goodies and sharing with friends and family. And today I'm going to be making a traditional mixture, a South Indian dish or a snack actually that is made with multiple ingredients. It does sound complicated, but I will try to simplify it to the best of my knowledge and share this recipe in the most simple way. There's many steps to this, but I have two main steps that need to be taken care of. One is to make kara boondhi, which is pearl-like little pieces of fried batter. So I have 1 cup of chickpea flour or besan and 2 teaspoons of rice flour, some coloring, food coloring. I used red. You could use orange or you don't need to use any. And some asofoteida and salt. And I will be using this to make those pearls. There's a specific ladle for that, a slotted ladle. And I will make it into a thin batter like a crepe batter or a dosa batter using water, just cold plain water. Okay. And the second step is making ommam podi. Ommam podi is nothing but a noodle like crisp, what do you call it? Crunchy stuff, which is basically made with 2 cups of chickpea flour, same flour that we used, and 1 cup of rice flour. I have some turmeric powder, about a 1/4 teaspoon, and 1/2 teaspoon of red chili powder, some asafoetida, some salt. And then ommam podi is basically called ommam podi because of this little water that I have. It's made up of ommam or ajwain that I've actually soaked in water and ground it roughly, because that adds flavor to this ommam podi. And you're going to filter it and use it, otherwise it won't go through the sieve. And this is a murukku shooter that is used to make the ommam podi. Okay, you put the dough in this cylinder and it squeezes out through these tiny holes. I'm not sure if you can. Okay, it just went in. So this little thing, I will show you better. There's little holes in it, and that's how the dough comes out. So I basically mix this whole concoction, these two, and add a little more water to make a nice dough. This actually is like a batter, not a dough. This is a batter, this is a dough. And then once we're done frying up these two, we're going to fry the peanuts. These are raw peanuts, about 1/2 cup. And then I have 1/2 cup of roasted chickpea, whole chickpeas. And then 1/2 cup of cashew nuts. And 3/4 cups of poha or what do you call it? Dehydrated rice or parched rice. And then I have about 5 cloves of garlic with the skin on. You need the skin on, it makes a beautiful flavor. And then about 4 to 5 sprigs of curry leaves. And this is the last powder we will sprinkle on top of the mixture. This is about 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. There's a pinch of turmeric powder, asafoetida, and a teaspoon of red chili powder. And we will need oil to deep fry. And these are our gadgets. This is another slotted spoon because ommam podi, everything is so fine, things will go through it and it's easy to decant. And then I have this to fry up all my peanuts and the chickpeas and cashews and the curry leaves, everything. And this to filter out the ommam podi concoction that I have in the mixie jar right here. I'm going to filter it out. And I'm going to use this pan to fry. I'm going to pour oil and fry in this, and then drain out the oil in this, keep everything ready, and then toss it all into this big bowl. Okay, and later you're going to store it up in an airtight container. Hope I'm clear, and I'm going to explain as I go with each process. So let's get started with making our kara boondhi first. Okay, I'm going to make it into a thin batter like a crepe batter, and I will proceed. So this is how my kara boondhi batter looks like. I wish it wasn't this reddish orange. I prefer it to be a little yellow. Maybe I should have added a yellow coloring instead of this red coloring. And don't forget to hydrate, have some tea. And while my oil is getting heated up, I'm going to start making my dough for the ommam podi. Okay, I had the flour and everything mixed up, and I added in my ommam water. I filtered out and put it, and then I added 2 teaspoons of regular oil. So I'm going to add extra water. I have a bowl of water, and let's make a dough out of it, a stiff dough. My oil is almost done, and I have my stiff dough for the ommam podi ready. I made it into these logs, so it's easier for me to put it through this cylinder. This is the murukku shooter or the press. So we're going to put each log in there and press it into oil directly. And right now we're going to make our kara boondhi. The batter is ready to go. I'm going to slowly ladle some or pour it into this sieve like ladle, so it falls in the form of pearls. First I'm going to do an oil test to see my batter, the oil is ready. So put a drop, see how quickly it comes up. Now lower the heat so it doesn't burn, and keep all your ladles ready to scoop it up when it's ready. So hold the ladle over the oil, hot oil, and pour the batter. And I need both my hands for this. See how it falls as pearls? You could shake it a little bit, and you can use another ladle to twirl it and let it go down smooth. So this is how it looks. See? So wait for it to nicely crisp up, and then you can scoop it and put it in the bowl with the paper towel. See how it's all silenced now? It's not as bubbly as before. Just break up pieces so it doesn't clump together. Can you hear that sound? So it's ready to come out. Don't let it burn too much. It's easier to decant or drain oil mostly here. You'll do a better job of that. So drain it and put away. So that's what we're going to do for the rest of the batter, and I'll show you when I start doing my ommam podi. So our boondis are done, and next thing is to start with our ommam podi. So I've filled the murukku shooter, and then now we screw the top on, and we get to fry these beauties up. So I've squeezed out first batch, and this is how it looks, all noodly, but it's going to crunch up. But it happens very quick, so take it out very fast. Be patient with this step, because the murukku shooter does be a little strain. It's hard to squeeze out, and it's a stiff dough. So if it is too easy, that means your ommam podi is going to soak up a lot of oil. But if it's just right, it is going to be hard to squeeze out, but you will have a great ommam podi, crunchy and less oily. So let it drain out and make the rest of it with the murukku shooter until everything is done. Okay, I have 3 more bars to go, or these little cylinders to go. So listening to Christmas carols, this is the last of my ommam podi. I've done quite a lot. Some are decanting and just draining out the oil. This whole bowl is spoonful of this and the kara bundi. So next we will start frying all these in a sequence and then add the masala in the end. So we're going to start with deep frying the raw peanuts and then the chutney dal and the cashews and the curry leaves, the garlic, because it's going to make the whole oil flavorful, and then the pressed rice, because it kind of will leave sediments in your oil and burn at the bottom. So keep it at the last. Don't make the mistake of doing it first. Okay, that is an experience that I had, where everything burnt and settled to the bottom and ruined the entire mixture. So let's start with our peanuts. I had some of the dough left over from the ommam puri, so I just made into a coat bade, or these circles, deep fried it. You could just eat it as a snack. You don't have to add it to the mixture. Your little perks for being in the kitchen and cooking up this yummy goodness. Just a little treat for yourself. So instead of throwing the peanuts in the oil, I put it in this little sieve and lower it into the oil and let it fry. This one worked better because the other sieve wasn't dunking the whole peanuts. And then you just shake it and wait till it's all done and the bubbles have settled. It's trial and error. You learn as you go. So no hard and fast rule, and nobody's gonna throw you behind bars if you make a mistake. So be nice to yourself. So peanuts are almost done. We're gonna drain it and put it in the tissue. And please stay hydrated while you're by the stove. It's hot, and also sometimes it helps to wear a nice thick apron so you're not cooking your belly, which is closest to the stove. A lot of women or men have issues when they're standing close to the fire for a long time. So be very careful, because this does take a long time, but be patient with yourself and take care of yourself as well. Next we're going to fry our chutney dal or roasted chickpeas. Same way. So don't wait for the color to change and all. Just 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes. Keep an eye on it. The bubbles have stopped, so it's ready to take out. It's already roasted. You just are frying it a little bit more in the oil, adding grease to it. That's it. So you will drain it again with the peanuts. Let it all sit happy in a bowl. Next would be the cashews. Let's add the cashews. There you go. The oil temperature has fallen, so I'm going to increase the heat slightly. It should be a golden brown, or slight golden brown would be good. So the cashews are nice and light brown. We're going to drain it on the paper towel again, and then toss in the curry leaves, the garlic, and then the puffed rice. Not the puffed rice, the pressed rice. Let it all rest for a little bit, and let's add our curry leaves and garlic. Stay away. It splutters like crazy, so be careful. Safety is priority in the kitchen, so make sure you stay away and be very careful. So don't let it get brown. This is perfect. The sounds have stopped, so ready to pull out. Sorry, that was a bit too loud. And I decided to do the garlic last. And so I'm going in with the pressed rice. See how it poofs up and everything and goes all over town. So be careful again. But let the sound stop and then it's ready. This takes very few, less than a minute actually. Some people like a lot of pressed rice. I just put a little bit. So this is ready to be drained out. And I dumped all the peanuts and everything into the mixture. And I crumbled the rest. So it's all small pieces. For the last touch is the garlic. Just to flavor the whole dish. It's all stuck to the bowl. And put it with the skin. It gives a very nice look once it's all done up. And clean up as you go. And hydrate as you go. And this is our last powder that goes on to this whole bunch. So I'm going to mix it all up and toss it. Our garlic is almost done. You don't want it getting bitter. Just shake it a bit. Almost there. Thank you for successfully watching the entire process. I know this is gonna be a lot. It's a long video, but it's worth it. I'm gonna scoop a little bit of this hot oil and pour it into my powdery mix. I hope you can see it, because I don't want to use a raw powder in that mixture. So this is what it is. This gets tossed with the rest of the mixture that is being set. Okay, we come here. I'm going to toss this first and then add the oil, masala oil. I did something unusual. I added some of the murukku pieces I had from the previous day that I made. So makes it extra crunchy. Now we're going to toss it all and then add the spice mixture. So our mixture is all done. I would prefer a little more curry leaves and then a little more of the pressed rice. And probably a little more peanuts as well. I don't know about you. But yes, so a little more corrections and you have a beautiful, beautiful mixture, all crunchy and nice, and enjoy it. Let me know what you think. I know it's a long labor of love, but it's worth it. Please make it and share it with your friends and family, and have a very Merry Christmas. Bye.